Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Marvel Strike Force video. We are going to do top 10. We're going to do it in a different format this time. We're gonna do a tier list style / top 10 character video, and in each tier I want to put between 3 to 5 characters, which typically what comprises of a team. So that's what we're going to do. Starting with tier 10, kick it off with Dr. Doom. Has some usage. If he gets pushed, he's gonna take your most powerful damage dealer on your team, which typically is Apocalypse or some other big guy alongside him to a right. But because of his stats, unfortunately, even though the kit is pretty good, the stats, it's not really there, and he dies. He ends up sometimes dying even before he gets to his turn. So now up next, I'm going to do Emma Frost. Emma Frost never lost her value because of her passive, that 10% speed reduction on the entire enemy side. Even after she dies, it's going to apply. Okay, up next, I'm going to do North Star. North Star could be at tier 9 as well because of his stats, but since I'm not using him too much, I mean, we're using him in raids right now, but once we get the new Spotlight team, he's gonna go out, and I think he does his job. If he gets to his turn, he's gonna revive off of the entire enemy side. So that's the only thing that he does. He does the ult and then he's done. There's not much to his kit. Up next, I'm going to do Dormammu. I think Dormammu, aside from his charge mechanic, his revives aren't really helpful too much, because you can take North Star, you can take Black Cat, you can take anyone that removes the revive, you can take Red Hulk. And I mean, if he's beside like Super Skull, someone powerful like himself, it's gonna be great. Sometimes you can pair him up with Dr. Doom, but overall I haven't seen too much usage from him. Okay, we have one character left for tier 10, and then we're gonna move on to tier 9. For tier 10, I think I'm going to do one of the Astral members, possibly between Moondragon and Doctor Strange. I think I'm going to go with Doctor Strange since he is on a team that is more useful. I haven't upgraded him yet personally because I want to see him in the context of full team, and I want to see which are the most important characters, most important member of the Astral team that are essential to be upgraded, and then I will make my decision. But for now, I think he takes the tier 10. This is because only he does the revive, and then there's his stats, and he does some cool things, but normally you don't even need him on the Secret Defenders team. He doesn't really contribute to the entirety of team, but because of his rework and his stats, and he has a Wong summon also for some reason, he takes the 10th place. And for tier 9, I have some characters in mind. I'm gonna start off with Morgan Le Fay, one of the OG arena characters from 2 years back, but still getting usage. Sometimes you need to manipulate the speed. Sometimes if you have her geared up, gear 18 or higher, she does the rewind, she does the trauma ability rock on the mystic enemies, mystic controller enemies, and she gives the entire Darkhold members, including Agatha, with her rework, that safeguard. So she takes the number 9. Now he's also one of those characters. I mean, you can imagine how timeless he's gonna be because of his passive, which prevents the safeguard off the bat, which is only between him and Apocalypse. And the fact that he does it, he's the second character in the game that does that, makes him kind of important. But outside of that, his kit doesn't offer too much. That's about it. We are going to go with Spider Weaver. Now I'm not sure, should we put the Spider Weaver at tier 8 or tier 9? I think she's also similar value to Morgan Le Fay. She does offer free blinds basically whenever she has the charges, but there's so many anti-charge mechanic, anti-accuracy mechanic, which makes her less relevant. And another one for the tier 9, Spider-Man big time. I think just being used for his disrupts. He does have the ability to remove the revives as well, which makes him more powerful than Dormammu below him. I think we're gonna do one more member in tier 9 and then we're gonna move on. Let's do Wall. Useful because of his exposed, specifically Dark Dimension, as well as anywhere that you can use exposed, like Crucible. Even on the new Mystic team, if you don't have Man-Thing, you can place Wall. Alright, tier 8, Zombie Juggernaut. Zombie Juggernaut, great character, great stats if you have him, but unfortunately he's not available, so most of us free-to-plays have him between 3 to 5 stars, which is going to be okay but not too crazy. He has the taunt, which needs no further introduction to you guys. Off the bat taunt, as well as if you have him with Hela and other guys. If you have him on War Offense, he has the trauma. He has a bunch of cool things in his kit. That's why I'm going to place him at number 8. Vulture. Vulture clears the buffs. You can even take him in front of Black Knight, and he gives your team the head start it needs. He has the mass turn rewind on everyone. He gives himself turn bar. If you have him with Hela, with Mysterio, with whoever that has the minions that die. Another one that we can put in number 8, we have Quicksilver. 8, I think he could be placed 9 as well, but because his stats are not too high. But the fact that he gives himself 2 turns whenever he has the charges, you can put him beside Old Man Logan, and every time he goes 2 times in a row. He gives 40% speed to Old Man Logan because Old Man Logan will be assisting. And he has Disrupt on basic, which is also pretty powerful, but if he can land it. We have tier 7. Tier 7, Hardlight has the turn rewind on her passive, and if you have her, which most of us do, have her with Secret Defenders, very helpful. You can use her even against the most powerful teams like Super Skrull, Spider Society, and she has a soft anti-empowered mechanic which counters Apocalypse. Specifically when she came out, she absorbed that Apocalypse ultimate as well as that empowered basic. Dakan is one of the underrated characters. I used him a lot in Crucible and War also. Because of his passive, he gets turn bar 60%, I think, turn bar per stealth. And I remember there was a team that had Noir. I don't remember if it was full Spider Society, but they had Noir, and Noir got 1 turn, and then my Dakan got 6 turns back to back, and in return gave my Old Man Logan assist, and basically we shredded the entire enemy team. So I think Dakan is underrated but very powerful. Now I'm going to do Red Goblin. As soon as you see Hive Mind, you want to hard target him, and when he goes, his ultimate just does an immense amount of damage, and he's gonna just destroy. And if somebody drops into red, it's going to be goodbye for the enemy team. I think Null is supposed to summon symbiotes just out of nowhere. I think it's going to be pretty overpowered if you have in that case, if you have Red Goblin with your team. Honorable mention, I used her in Dark Dimension. She didn't do too much, but in other game modes she's pretty powerful. I was using her even in Arena before the Annihilators were geared up so high. I mean, if she one day gets a rework, she's going to come back to the top because of her crazy kit, her crazy damage. But as of right now, because of her damage, she's only gonna go down. And for now, I think I'm going to put her at number 7. I think I'm going to do Carnage because he's the linchpin on your Hive Mind team, and he's the one that makes Hive Mind so crazy. He doesn't have usage outside of his team though, outside of the symbiote team, but with symbiotes he makes them tick. Now for tier 6, Dr. Octopus, best support Red Goblin, Green Goblin Classic can get, and he's plug and play also with other teams. He's best with his Sinister symbiote teams. Great rework, great stats. He has the charge mechanic. He gives a speed up deflect to the adjacent allies. He gives charges to the entire. superior slash sinister allies. Up next, I'm going to do Noir. Also empowers anyone that operates on Blitz, empowers Old Man Logan, empowers Ghost Rider Robbie, and for the longest time people were replacing him with the Secret Defenders in place of Doctor Strange. And on his own also, he's plug and play. He's great with the Spider Society or any Spider-Verse team because he gives extra 25% damage to Spider-Verse allies, whether hero or villain. You can place him even with Hive Mind and he's gonna give damage to the entire team. Poviter, pretty unique. He's kind of plug and play, not too much. He has not too great of a health, but his damage is crazy, and that's his job, mainly damage. Another thing that I liked about him a lot, and I do still like about him, is the fact that he gives a speed up on basic to a random ally. And if he's a striker, he double taps, he gives speed up to 2 allies every time he basics. And yeah, that's going to be more damage against the slow plus a speed up to your team, and he applies the slow on all his abilities. You can do one of the Eternals, basically both of Eternals together, because one Eternal doesn't mean too much. They are pretty overpowered. They were overpowered when they came out. Eternals plus Weaver used to beat Apocalypse, and they had to rework Apocalypse upon his release. Let's see, for tier 5 we're gonna start off with Agatha, and she had an amazing rework. She has the ping mechanic. Every time someone drops low, she pings them with the disrupt and does a lot of damage. She could be also tier 4, but I have more important members for tier 4, so we're gonna place her there. Let's see, we have Robbie Reyes. I mean, even with the newer stats, he can still defeat these newer guys. Like, some people use the Secret Defenders with a big Robbie, of course, against and Apocalypse against Annihilators. Some people use them against, many people still use them against the Spider Society, which is a way newer team. Up next we have one of the better Hive Mind members. This might be questionable to some of you guys, but I love this guy. He has a great kit. He has an energy still, which is going to be timeless. Up next we're gonna do Sasquatch. Alpha Flight team is not too great, but he's gonna get usage over time because of his taunt, and he's gonna keep getting the taunt as long as he's not disrupted. For the tier 4 we're gonna have to move on to the newer characters. We are going to start off with a Scarlet Witch, which is going to be epic and not available to too many people, including myself, because of her special. Her special applies safeguard to all allies, so this could be Crucible offense or defense. You don't have to use her with Hela, and I think that's one of the timeless abilities that she has. Up next we have Captain Britain, also another epic, not accessible to anyone, including some of the spenders. Plug and play in Crucible specifically. You guys let me know if you guys have him and use him outside of Crucible too much. I think he may have usage on War defense as well, and he is a pre-taunting tank, so why not? Alright, let's go with Hank Pym up next. He's a self-healing adaptive character. You can place him on any team, honestly. Overall, I used him in Dark Dimension. He's super underrated. He kept healing the team. He applies safeguard even outside of Crucible to the Illuminati members. So we're closing in on the top levels, and we are going to do one more character in this level, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna do Blade. He's great beside Oath, but a standalone, I mean, without his awaken abilities, he's just very meh. He's just damage dealing tank. He was disappointing considering how new he is, let's just say that. Alright, let's do one more for the tier 4. Let's go with Red Hulk. Actually, you know what, we have to place Red Hulk a little bit lower because of his stats are going away, but the one ability that will not go away is his special that he opens with. And not only this special is important, the ultimate also, when he gets to it, if he gets to it, he usually dies before he gets to it. Let's see, we are going to do, for the tier 4, we're going to do one member from the Cabal team. Cabal is just a great Crucible team. They're not too great on war, but in Crucible they're super overpowered, but outside Crucible they don't do too much. Let's see, we have tier 3 and we're gonna start off right away with Peter B. Parker. Amazing character, self-healing, tank, support, slash everything, cleanses, disrupts, assists. Even I have him as a skirmisher. Even as a skirmisher he's super powerful. Up next I would like to do, let's just put Black Knight in the second tier because of his passive alone, and then he has a crazy ultimate. He has a cleanse, safeguard, taunt, cleansing off your entire team. He's crazy like that. Let's go back to tier 4 though. I got distracted a little bit there. I would like to do Ultimus. Anytime you see a tank, you see a taunter, take him, he's gonna delete him most of the time, with the exception of Gladiator probably, and Black Knight. He can delete almost any tank off the bat. And also another one of his abilities is ability block on his basic plus mind control, and I use him usually whenever I see a tank in Crucible. I use him with Cabal, have him as a raider, give my entire Cabal that speed that they need. Up next I'm going to do Sentinel because cleanses, he applies safeguard, he has taunting minions, his minions are super beefy. I found him to be even more useful than Blade, to the date at least that I'm using him, and he's only 5 stars for me, and his minions get about 3 million something health. Next one I would like to do is Kang, and I would love to bring Kang to the second tier, but we have Oath now, which does a lot more damage and does a lot more stuff than Kang does. But Kang is still powerful, he gets usage everywhere. His ultimate is crazy. If you get to it, he gives himself a speed bar on his basic, he gives your entire team a speed bar. There's Nightcrawler and Gambit. I'm gonna put Nightcrawler because Gambit is mainly his pings. I mean, Gambit gives a speed up to the X-Men allies, but mainly his job is pings, and Nightcrawler is just another monster. He's I think he's the same in terms of power and value. I think he's the same as Kang. And up next we are going to do Green Goblin Classic. Does a crazy ultimate, does a crazy special ability. He has pings whenever he has the charges. He's not more powerful than Nightcrawler. We have Black Cat. Let's do Black Cat. Just rewinding on almost all her abilities, removing charges, stun trauma, 130 plus speed, which is insane. It's not too common in the game. Another one that I would like to put in the second slot is going to be Oath, which I came to realization how awesome she is. She's like the fuel for the Night Stalker team. She's the fuel for Blade. Generates energy, pings on the exposed enemies, and she has ability block, she does blade, she does a bunch of crazy stuff. She's fast, 126 or 125 speed, 126 speed, gives turn bar. She's better, she's Kang but better, I think. And up next we're going to do Super Scroll. Super Scroll goes so fast, takes so many turns, but there's so many mechanics that shut him down. So kind of he's just transitioning to a state where if you put him on defense he's gonna get countered. If you put him on offense you get to use him against some teams, not all teams, but I think he's going to be the same level as these guys. Black Knight destroys him. We are going to do Gore. Just removing charge on all his abilities is just a crazy ability that is not going to go away. He gets rid of revives as well. He goes super fast. He has passive damage dealing. His damage is not too great, but overall he does a lot of stuff, I think. Normally when you're facing the 3-piece annihilators, you want to target him for the stun first so that he doesn't get to his turn. Okay, for the first slot, let's get to it. Gonna do Gladiator. In Arena, not allowing anyone to gain a speed. Other game modes not allowing everyone to land any vulnerables. Spawning with the immunity as well as safeguard and taunt. Taking the spot beside him. Who shines the most amongst the Annihilator allies is Thanos. Sole perp that can remove safeguard from your enemy side, and that's a pretty insane ability. He does it on his ultimate, he does it once on his passive, he can do it 2 times in a game, and even if he's a stun, he's gonna remove the stun off of himself. Up next, I would like to do Omen Logan. He's the one legendary that shines the highest. He counters Black Knight, he counters Super Skull, he counters almost everyone because of his assist, and he gives himself turn bar, he gives himself immunity, safeguard, all the crazy shit. Up next, we are going to do Apocalypse because over 2 years old, he's still standing strong. He does the big swipe with trauma, flipping, goes to his next turn right away with the empowered basic. Definitely, I mean, his super score went away a little bit, but he's still in the top. I think he definitely takes it home. Now up next, both you guys know it's going to be Mephisto and Odin. Mephisto is just one above all, and then comes Odin, the Mephisto killer. So we want to just put them both up top. These two take it home together for the first slot. I know we have 6 characters up there. Kind of you can consider these two guys as one and the same because they don't work without each other. I would like to put some honorable mentions in our list that we missed that are crazy, starting with Lizard. Goes right ahead, removes the buffs against the Spider Society, against Hive Mind. Actually, most superior members get usage outside of their team, but he's the one member that gets usage the most. Especially whenever you see Noir, whenever you see Black Cat as your enemy. Up next, we're gonna do Penny because she generates energy, applies buffs and barriers up his team. I think I'm going to put her here. Up next, we're gonna do Man-Thing. Gives extra 30% passive speed to the entire Night Stalker allies. Actually, you know what? We're gonna bring him up alongside these guys here, alongside Oath. Man-Thing is going to give a speed to Blade in return, which Blade will do a fuck ton of damage, and I think I like that. Another one of his abilities is preventing Night Stalker allies from getting ability block, if I'm not mistaken, and then he's a pre-taunting tank whenever you place him with his team. Up next, I would like to do her actually because she's the new Gambit. She's gonna ping away. She has the revive, she has the stun, and she has crazy stats. Just unlocked her, and I've been enjoying using her. I would like to place her beside these guys here just because of her stats. If she didn't have the stats, she would be probably about here. Up next, we are going to do Forge. Holds the entire X-Men allies together. Doesn't get usage outside his team, but makes the X-Men allies super strong. We're gonna place him here because he doesn't really revive any non-extreme members. He just revives extreme members. But he does buff up the team. He does cleanse. A couple more people that I would like to bring. First is Gambit, the second best X-Men member after Nightcrawler. We are going to put him here actually above these guys because Gambit does crazy damage still to the date. Gives a speed up whenever he does his special, gives evade whenever your team crits passively, he gives your team evade. This sums it up for the video. Appreciate you guys. Sorry if I went a bit too long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stayed throughout the video. For those of you guys who stayed, appreciate you. Happy to have you. and hope to see you on the next one.